This time around I have Ken Masters from Street Fighter. I'm going to assume, I don't know for a fact, but I'm going to assume this is probably the Street Fighter Alpha version. He does have a rather young face and the hair looks kind of like the Alpha version, but Ken doesn't change a whole lot through the different iterations. It doesn't look like the Street Fighter 2 look. So I'm gonna guess, and I think that if it doesn't say Street Fighter 5, that means it's probably not Street Fighter 5. If you look in here at oh, okay, whoops, is looking Street Fighter 5. It's a little older, but basically the same with the red gi and the black belt. Uh, Maybe the gloves are a little bit different color, but he's got longer hair there. His hair is a bit shorter here. So I'm gonna, let's see, here's Street Fighter Alpha look. I'm gonna guess that that's what they were going for. It's another great figure, very nicely balanced. I think the face does look like Ken Masters. So one thing about these figures that I've noticed, you can kind of see in there, they really seem to attract dust a lot. So I need to go through and maybe take a little Q-tip and water and clean them off because he's gotten quite dusty. But has very good balance again. Hard to show, but he can hold a kick just like most of the other figures, and really good articulation. Everything's nice and tight and smooth. This piece down here, this is separate from up here, so the gi is not real. I mean, it is a separate piece from the main figure. It's not cloth, it's all rubber, but this is separate. So the bottom portion and the belt are attached. Then you have the upper part of the gi, and then you have kind of the sleeves. The sleeves are also a separate portion. And I can tell you that if Mezco ever started making Street Fighter figures, I would be thrilled, because I think they could do an amazing job, because they all, generally most of them, have cloth outfits and whatnot. So that would be really, really neat, and I'm sure they could do a fantastic job. One of my only issues with this figure is, for whatever reason, and it was always like this, it's not a discoloration, but the neck is a different color. I'm not sure why the neck is such a radically different color. I've never held another one of these figures to compare, whether it's just I somehow got a bad bit of plastic or if this is common. But it does kind of stand out, that issue with the neck. So Ken is a big enough figure that he got 4 pages in the World Warrior Encyclopedia, and you could see he's been in every iteration: 1, 2, Alpha, 3, 4, 5. So, and I'm sure he'll be in 6, which is going to be coming out. I haven't really looked. I don't really play the games anymore, only because I really only get the Nintendo systems, and they don't put out the new games for the Nintendo. The last game I played was 4, and that was for the 3DS, which actually did an amazing job of taking care of or reproducing the game in a handheld form. So it says here he's American, and I always figured he was just an American guy, born in USA. But it is interesting that out here on the Street Fighter fandom, it has the background. It says, born and raised in Japan, Ken lived a normal life with his Japanese mother and half Japanese American, or Japanese father and half. So that would make him 3/4 Japanese. It says, when he was in junior high school, Ken started dyeing his hair blonde and became a delinquent. The reason behind this is due to his parents being at odds with one another while neglecting their child. Both were on the verge of divorce until Ken started misbehaving, which resulted in his parents settling down and live in harmony. Ken, however, kept his hair blonde as a warning to his parents, so they'll never forget the events that transpired. So obviously you already have something that's conflicting with what's in the encyclopedia, which is it claims here that he was born and raised in Japan. So I'm going to guess if I have to put faith in one of these, I'm going to put it in the encyclopedia here, and it never mentions anything about what his ethnicity is. But if his last name is Masters, I've never heard of Masters as a Japanese name, and if his mother was the one who was half American, um, I'm going to guess that this is. I don't know. I'm not sure what the heck this is, but so I don't know if he really is supposed to be half Japanese, 3/4 Japanese with dyed blonde hair, but it makes no mention of that in here. So you'd have to do a little more research. But this is a really nice figure, and it's one of my earliest figures. This was, as I said, kind of what got me started in collecting these high-end figures is the Street Fighter characters. So there's Ken Masters.